And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Robert Kelly.
Man, nothing better than a little buddies watching you. And then it was the entire black players grouping of the team and one white guy.
What is this from?
It's from the 80s when the Philadelphia Eagles
This is the
were...
whole team in the...
Well, it's not the whole team. There was laws against having it be an entirely black team, I believe. But it's most of the, let's just call it the rhythm section of the 1980s Philadelphia Eagles.
They decided to cut a track. But they were still doing that early rap song. Every football team. Did you ever see the one, I think it's from the 80s, with the Rams? And they're just basically yelling, "Ram it," over and over.
No, we went through a couple years back. There's a bunch of these they tried where the team gets together. Now the Eagles pull together to make Christmas albums.
Sure, and help kids.
It does help kids, right?
Yeah.
I hope. If you just say you're helping kids, you can get away with a lot of cringy shit.
100%.
Absolutely.
They help both my kids. Man, got both of them Mustangs. So you can't beat that.
I'm doing gay OnlyFans, but I'm giving it all for kids. I mean, I'm taking it for me, but then I'm giving it to the kids.
You got to be careful when you're saying you're giving it to the kids.
Oh, you're right.
On OnlyFans.
The money.
Yeah, the money. All right.
I'm giving my dirty gay money to the kids. It's the Bonfire, Faction Talk, Sirius XM 103. I'm Big J. Okerson. Robert Kelly is melting from the inside. We thought it would get better from yesterday. It has not. From what I understand, it was feeling better. He made it halfway down, and he had a "I might shit all over my car" moment, and then he turned around and went back home, which is okay.
How's that different from any other day?
Well, we lost Ron's mic.
What happened?
God damn it.
Is it shitty cords?
Is that the problem?
No, just plug it in. Yeah, just plug it in, Jacob.
We're good. We're back.
What kind of studio you guys have?
A shitty one.
Yeah.
They don't care about us.
So I heard that Bobby didn't make the layoffs. I thought that was the deal that was done.
The mega laughs.
Yeah.
Have you... Now, I started saying this the other day. Me and Bobby, I feel, yourself, we're on air talent. They need the dogs, so we're here. But I worry about everybody else in this room.
Coming in and shaving the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
They could say, like,
There's probably only one or two. But Bobby probably clears out, that amount for himself if he doesn't come back.
Yeah. No, if this stomach bug takes him the way I think it seems it's going to. He's going a long way. But I don't know if I'm a just yell it out to the world by myself guy. I don't have that. Do you? Bill Burr did that for a little bit. Did you do any shows like that ever? Just you completely? I know you had Fez forever, and then
well, when I had Fez, I was doing it by myself. You okay, buddy? Pal, you all right?
Yes.
Everybody wants to hear you say hi. He's just fucking holding on. Jesus Christ.
I was only, I hate to say that with Fez, I was only around for his anxious years.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was... Actually, in hindsight, he was always in his anxious years, but it only collapsed, let's say, the last 9.
The last 9 years? Yeah, that's my involvement.
Yeah. Every contract thing, I feel like he's bouncing. You know what I mean? I feel like we're getting a real bounce right now.
He also, at one point of the show, I don't know how long this was, or it was until he left New York, but of places he chose to live, like to be a antisocial like hermit, like that he was kind of letting himself fall into. He went to like Roosevelt Island. Didn't he live on Roosevelt Island, like the scariest place in New York City, just because it's empty and only a mental asylum hospital, I think.
But you know what? There was something about it, like it's close. You know what I mean? It was always nice.
True. If ever gonna bounce over to the asylum,
because I remember he did a couple different nut huts, and he would be in there for like a week or two, right?
Oh, he checked himself in the place.
Oh yeah, a couple times, and then I would come in and he was like, "I've been watercoloring." I go, "Don't show that to me. That isn't fucking helping us," you know.
You're becoming a patient.
Yeah.
You're leaning too much.
He's sitting there with no shoelaces and a robe on. Look what I did. I go, let this fucking lady tell you you're doing great.
It's been the longest intro ever, everybody. But you know that voice and you love him, everybody. Wednesday, February 15th at 7 p.m.
Sorry,
Huh?
my bad.
You son of a bitch. Wednesday, February 5th at 7 p.m. He's going to be hosting the New York Comedy All-Stars at the Hard Rock Cafe with Bobby Kelly, Bonnie McFarlane, Keith Robinson, and Joe List. Get your tickets now at NewYorkComedyAllStars.com. It is the legend, the great Ron Bennington, everybody.
Good to see you. Now,
God damn, that's so funny.
this is a Deb gig that she put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, would you want to do it? I go, let's do it with all the faction talk guys. See if
yeah.
everybody wants to come over. But you were busy, and then Jim just left. So it's basically me and Bobby.
It is. Get Sam Roberts up there and the gang.
I don't know if everybody's into a lot of wrestling. You know what I mean?
How about Eddie Trunk? You think anybody's into talking to a guitar tech for Rat now? All right, everybody, settle down for my 2-hour in-depth interview with the guy from Trickster.
Do you know all those bands that...
No, there's a real window that I missed that I kind of got out of. Like hair metal, I liked the guys I liked.
Yeah.
Poison, for sure. Guns N' Roses, if it gets lumped in there. Few songs by Warrant. You know, I had my guys.
and that's it.
But I didn't get into like the deeper like Tricksters and
right.
like Kicks and those kind of bands. I don't know any deep tracks. But it's funny to mention that because I just did Shiprocked again, which is a cruise ship with a bunch of bands on it. And it's the bands that were big I didn't know because I'm too, like I just missed them, I think.
Right.
Or they're just too young and I don't know who they are at all. There's no sweet spot.
There's
at all
nobody
anymore.
for you.
Well, POD. I got to enjoy POD for a little bit. And I'll tell you something. They still got it. POD's still swinging it.
Whatever they had.
Whatever
Still
they had.
there, yeah.
He grew his dreadlocks back. That was big.
Smart move.
It's a big move.
Yeah.
You get rid of those dreadlocks and it's your whole thing. Rage Against the Machine did that. You get rid of those dreadlocks. Like, this guy's not pissed off anymore. He's got product in his hair.
You know what's really funny about them and like anybody that was a gangster rock? It was like they were gangster rap. All of them were just playing characters. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're Kiss. And
Yep.
at the time, like Public Enemy, I'm like, we're fucked, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the streets. They're ready to go.
They're coming. They're mobilized.
Yeah. NAA, they're on fucking both coasts. And then, you know, you turn around and they're just entertainers, just regular guys.
I know, and you get their histories and you're like, they're entertain. They're really, it's almost like they're forced to do the Ja Morant thing. You know what Ja Morant goes through in the NBA? Like, because he grew up, like, he went to good schools and lived, I think, in a fine neighborhood, from what I understand. Like, and now these guys are like, you're not acting black at all. And he's like, you want me to pull a gun out in the club?
I'll do it.
I'll do it. You want me to drive around and shoot in the air out of a convertible? Like, I'll do it. And he gets in trouble. Could you imagine if I've said this so many times, if Allen Iverson was in the era of social media, he'd have played 2 years.
Even then he only barely hung on.
Every summer in Philly, you'd get news. It was 2-day news always. Allen Iverson pulled out of a car. Guns, drugs, a naked lady, a guy in the trunk tied up, and then they go, it was his friend. The next day it goes, no, it's always some guy like, Quasi or something like that. Quasi.
Yeah, he couldn't, he was like a basketball player that had 8 guys with him at all times, and none of them were on his team. You know what I mean? None of them had anything to do with basketball.
No, not at all. He bought, do you remember the Adams Mark Hotel?
Yeah.
That was City Line Avenue, right down by the news stations. His first 3 years of playing, his rookie contract, he rented the top floor of the Adams Mark Hotel and had his mom and everyone he knew from Newport News, Virginia, live on the top floor of that hotel. And they would fuck up the TGI Fridays in the parking lot. They would go there nightly. Everyone was like, oh, they hated it. They were like, they made money, but you earned your money that night.
Yeah,
no one had respect, and no one had cameras. There wasn't a thing like that. This was no worry.
How tall was he? Was he
5'10"?
Was he 5'10" and played like that?
Yeah.
He was like everybody that was good in the same person, and they couldn't get a championship.
I know, but
Drove me crazy.
That game was the championship. Stepped over Tyronn Lue.
Yeah.
Went right at Shaq to score at the basket a few times, and they won in double overtime. And then it was a sad sad four. They just woke the Lakers up, and they just beat them in 4 consecutive games terribly.
Well,
we went out at my mom's house, or I guess we're at my house at the time, and me and my friends got, hey, Mom, do we need this bed sheet? No? Okay. And we lived in like a subdivision at that point, so it had like a an entranceway, and we put a sheet up at the entranceway and got spray paint, and did like Sixers Lakers, and then like the first day Sixers, scratch off that win, and at the 4th day, like no one put the 4th X. So go take the fucking thing down. But it gets like, by you're showing, I was like, why are these guys actually going out and putting the X's on for all these losses? By the time it gets like 3 games to 1, you're like, just take the sheet down, man. The odds are against at this point.
the truth is, if you're any kind of sport fan, one team, one city celebrates, and everybody else is miserable.
Yeah.
Everybody else is miserable. And here, like, so many people hate the Chiefs that they should all be cheering the Eagles. They're not.
Yeah.
Because of the fans. They hate
the fans. I know. We have a prison system right inside our stadium, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's a terrible stain on the city and the people of the city, but it's pretty neat just to have that kind of notoriety. But I've gone to games in the past. When's the last time you went to a game?
It's been years.
I've gone to games in the past 5 years several times, and I will say the energy's different. It's not the savage that it was
right. The
all back in the day.
Ticket prices.
It's what it is. Yeah. It's so everybody comes. Like I see guys in the other team's jersey walking with their buddies. Everyone have a good. I mean, it's a nice little light razzing.
Right.
But the one that always got me was that I happened to be at the game, Michael Irvin's last game, when they stretched him out and then they put him on the stretcher, and as he was leaving, they were cheering, like giving him sound like they were giving him applause for great, you're a great player. We hope you get better soon. And when he gave the thumbs up, they booed. And then I took Christine to a game years ago. Nick Foles, I think Victor Cruz was their receiver at the time, who was really good.
Yeah.
Fucked his leg up bad in a play, and they, down there, take him off in the field in the stretcher, and everyone's cheering, clapping for him as he's going off, and I'm giving her the stupid I'm like, ooh, Christine, wait for it. As soon as he gives a signal to the audience, dude, they are gonna be like, fuck you, you piece of shit. And then he put his thumb up, and they just cheered him right into the room, and I went,
yeah.
Man, this city's gotten artsy fartsy. There's too many college kids here now.
The Lions were just complaining about that. They had all their fans, the hardcore fans, are out because the team's winning. So when the team started winning, all these people come in from the suburbs, buy extra tickets. They're setting up a little fucking picnic glass for themselves. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I appreciate walking by or maybe even being invited to a high-level tailgate, but I judge the shit out of the person throwing it. It's too much effort.
Yeah. Why you got a chandelier? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing with a chandelier out here?
You're not wrong. I mean, it's just burners. You have to bring high-level explosive gas with you to a place, or you own an RV and you bring the whole thing and you take up 11 spaces because you're making your own fucking grilled cheeses or something. It's like a fish concert.
You got an RV,
get your shit together,
but nobody can shit in it. You know what I mean? What's the whole point then? Here's the thing: if you got burners out there, you should be smoking crack. You know what I mean? Let's fucking show these guys. We're not playing around.
Let's do it right.
Did you guys see this? The guy was roasting the whole pig in a grocery cart.
That's disgusting.
He was also cooking it on the train.
Yeah, they had it on the train.
Really?
Yeah.
With the fire?
Yeah, the whole thing.
No one says a word.
No, they were all getting little pieces of fucking pork. My favorite was the guy who shot the gun in the air.
Yeah.
That was the best because nobody ran.
No one ran.
No one ran. No one gave a shit.
They're like, yeah.
Go birds.
Go birds.
Go birds.
One guy fell off a thing and died. Can I ask you this, though? Me and you, I wonder if we have the same feeling here. The last 2 times I went to the Super Bowl, very, very exciting. I was super amped up. We won the year with Nick Foles, and I had a weird feeling later that night, even, that was just a calming thing. I'm like, man, that was really fun. What a fun season. But it is 100% reflective only now, and you're immediately back to 0-0.
Of course.
It's such it just moves on so quick. And you might be the worst team the next year.
Yeah.
Then they had a terrible meltdown, and they come back when they won. When they were going to the Super Bowl, I had much more of like a, this is what we're supposed to do here. I don't know if I don't have the same.
Well, you're still, you ate that first Super Bowl with Fools, right? You finally got to eat.
That's what I
so
mean.
Now
Yeah.
you're like, this is
Food's
nice.
good.
Like, wouldn't mind have a little snack. If, the Chiefs don't mind. Mahomes is willing to fuck up once in his life.
He fucks up plenty. The referees don't tell him. That's the problem.
Are you one of those people that believes that? It's all rigged?
No, I don't think it's all rigged. I think, but I mean, superstar calls, which is a sports thing in general.
Sure.
And I think like the Chiefs as a unit in the playoffs this year have gotten like and I'm not even rooting against them. I'm like, if we're going to go to the Super Bowl, I want to beat another dynasty. We already did it.
Yeah.
We already took Brady out. Send him to a whole other city. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Then he won the championship there. Then we were sitting
Someone was saying, how much does Bill Belichick suck that guy doesn't even get offers for jobs?
Well, he's got a nice young girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now he's at a college where I would be a little concerned if I was his boss. I'm like, dude, this is it. The one you got, you can keep, but you can't get a second one.
You can't come in for dubs.
Yeah.
That girl is, I've said this many times too, I appreciate the guy who can go, look, I get it. She has to hold her mouth shut from vomiting when she sees my naked body. But I do get to fuck her, and she gets half my money and whatever. I couldn't get past that.
Well, now I just saw a thing yesterday that more women are doing the baby girl thing, and more middle-aged women are with young, dumb fucking dudes now than ever in history.
The young dudes are getting the older women.
Yeah. Well, it's really the older women getting the young dudes. Like
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
She ran through a who's who of young comedy.
Yeah. All right, who'd she have besides Pete?
What was it, Jeff Dye, I think? And I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. But there was like two others.
Was it
Matt Rife, I think, also, yeah.
Oh, Matt Rife, of course.
Yeah, the obvies, for sure.
Yeah. It's not like she's with Stavi, baby.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Stavros. Stavros is banging Miley fucking Cyrus. I've always, my impressive thing with that, with these young guys getting the old celebrity girls particularly, is I couldn't imagine what kind of nervous dick I would have, like breaking the barrier of like, oh wow, Kate Beckinsale from Underworld, she's so hot.
Yeah.
Man, she seems to be hanging out. Oh my God, we're making out. Like, is Kate Beckinsale sucking my cock ring?
That's too much for you?
We're just like, what? This is crazy.
All right, you're describing a bad childhood. You're one of those kids who's like, I'm not sure if Santa's coming this year.
Did your mom tell you? Goes, baby, one day if you want Kate Beckinsale to suck your dick, she will. My mom didn't fill me with that kind of promise.
Yeah. Well, my mom told me I could have, Farrah Fawcett. So that happened.
You could get Farrah Fawcett if you wanted. No, I never. I did, I guess, swing for the fences. I could swing for the fences with girls if I had to have no actual contact. Could not take a direct rejection. But I'd write a note to anybody.
Now, were you in third grade or fourth?
Let's call this probably up to and including the good old 11th grade.
All right. So you would pass a note in high school.
Before a 22-year-old woman finally said, hey, can I make you not a homo in a hotel real quick? And I said, yes. And then she fixed everything.
Where did you meet her?
She was my 22-year-old neighbor who was living with her uncle and aunt. Aunt was the blood relative. Uncle molesting her from childhood into the 22 that I met her at. Now, I think that's a bad guy. That guy's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. But
butterfly effect ended up
it.
with me having sex with his niece. So I don't know if I trade one for the other.
Here's the thing. You probably look creepy enough for her. You know what I mean? You're like, this guy is not a good guy. Why don't I give him 3 pumps and a dump?
Oh, she did, yeah. She said she was having sex with me based on her concept was like, you're a great dude. and you have to get some confidence. And like she basically, I'll put a little stink on it for you. She was cute. I liked her a lot, but she was just like, no. We're just like, we'll fuck here and there, and we fucked like a number of times, and then I asked the girl out, and she said yes, and then I went back and told her, like, I was like, it worked, and she was devastated.
Of course.
The problem was the day I chose to tell her was the day I was picking her up to take her to a barbecue at my white trash uncle's house, above ground pool party, and also meeting us there will be my new girlfriend, and she was very upset that I had a new girlfriend. It was a very, very awkward day. But my white trash family almost threw the new girl in the above ground pool. I had to physically pull her away from 4 toothless guys throwing her in. I made the mistake of telling her that she was a former Miss Belmar, New Jersey.
Nice. All right, now we're talking.
They go, someone put Miss Belmar in the drink. And then they grabbed her ankles and things, and I had to hold her from the middle. And the girl I lost my virginity to was really enjoying that. She was the life of the party.
Now, were they thrown in a pool or gang rape? What was happening exactly? Because I know you're a little naive still at this time.
Well, I was a little naive. I think it was starting off with get her in the pool. Right. Then when the shirt's see-through, she's asking for it.
Right, she's begging for it.
She's begging for it. Why would she show us her tits and wear that see-through shirt if she knew we were going to throw her in that pool?
Did you ever stop back and check on the molested girl as the years went by?
No, it lost touch.
Yeah.
Completely lost touch. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I've looked for her, I think, online before. She might be married or something. She was doing good. It was the most bizarre. Talk about that psychology, that weird shit. It was happening since she was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And then was away from him. You know what I mean? Like they moved to kind of different places in South Jersey. And then she chose, because it was closer to nursing school, she went to Hahnemann.
Yeah.
It's closer there. She decided to live with them because it was easier.
Well, I mean, she hates the commute. You got to understand that. She does not.
She's too white for the train. She was a Grateful Dead chick.
And she's still bitching about it, though, huh?
No shit. No. I found out in like a catastrophic, crazy way. She was at my house.
Yeah.
I think we were in my room, maybe even making out or so. It was like, and she gets my mom yells up. She goes, "Hey, you've got your uncle's calling on the line." He lived next door. This guy was he was a little guy, old, smoked cigars, shaved bald head, and he dressed like Gallagher. And he was like he used to be a merchant marine. But he dressed like that. He had like Popeye, like casual Popeye. Like almost bell-bottom like jeans, and well past the time of bell-bottoms. And she goes, "Hey, your uncle's on the phone for you." And she was like, and she gets on the phone. She goes, "Hey, okay, yeah, I'll be right there. Okay." And then she left, and my mom was like, "Yo," I didn't hang up the phone when she picked up, and he was like, "Yeah. Doctor says I need a sperm sample to give to him for some. You want to come over here and help me out with that or something?" And on my end, all I heard her go, "Yep, I'll be right there." And she ran over there. So still like 22 was still happening.
Well, I mean, she was good around the house, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she must have done something, right? Yeah.
She always gone to nursing. You know what I mean? This is really, figuring it all out. But look, our session's just about up, Jay.
That was the same girl that I told the story on Ari's thing where I went. She eventually moved back with her family, and I went to go hook up with her there. And I was dealing with my last name's not Jewish, but her father was like hardcore, like Nazi sympathizer. Like he was like super into that shit and really anti-Jewish. And instead of telling them that I was Jewish, I thought I was getting back at him by fucking his daughter to the Forrest Gump soundtrack upstairs. You
know what? A lot of people would appreciate what you were doing there.
I think
so. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you came through for the tribe.
I think so. I think so. For all those ladies pricking their fingers to put blood on their cheeks so they looked pretty for the guys so they wouldn't kill them. I fucked that girl right in her Nazi dad's house while he was downstairs experimenting on rats or something. Did you ever, what's the most you put up with a girl's something because you wanted to fuck her? Like,
all psychos when I was younger.
But I mean, in particular, like, I want to do this if we're going to hang out. like tonight? Like, what's like you're like overlook it like a flat earther or something? Like, sure,
Well,
okay.
The first girl that I was with was she was a big girl.
Okay.
And it was in the summer. We were in a cottage where people were sleeping all around.
Were you a big kid?
No.
No?
Not at that time. There's different times that I came in and out. You understand how the wardrobe changes. But this was a particularly good growth year.
Okay.
And she had so much powder on her body that it dried my entire fucking mouth out. And she was like years older than me. And then she fucking grabbed my dick like I'd stole something. And I'm like, I'm staying. I'm fucking staying. This hurts like fuck. Yeah, couldn't fuck. All I wanted was a fucking glass of water the whole time I was with. Not a good situation, but you move on from there.
Yeah. Did you hook up with her again?
No.
That was it, one night only?
One night. Summer love affair. It's kind of like the movie Grease. Like I thought when I got back to school maybe she'd be there, but she was a teacher's age.
My cousin had a friend who whacked me off in a car once, and she, heavy powder also. That's one of the things I remember always. Powder.
Powder.
Yeah, you shouldn't finger a girl and smell powder.
Right.
It was fucking wacky. But that was the girl, she whacked me off and stared at me in the face the entire time. A no-break eye contact, looking for eye contact that I was not giving except for like the accidental fourth wall break.
Yeah.
And then I asked her what's happening. And she said that she really loves to watch guys when they come, which was a crazy thing for a 17, 18-year-old to say.
But who was her uncle? We never know. Maybe she's not a blabbermouth.
I like to stare at guys. I'm like, what an uncomfortable thing.
I feel like it's a good gimmick, though. You know what I mean? I mean, she's sitting there, she's just locked in, waiting for you to come, and you're just like, this is it. Enjoy my face.
I don't mind a couple of glances.
Yeah.
A couple of sexy glances almost. Don't wink. That's not a good look.
Good
Don't look up at me for sucking my dick and give me a wink.
And keep the powder off my balls, would you please? Just all powdered up.
Although I have to assume through the years a girl's tasted lotion on my bag or something like that.
Oh, sure.
For sure. Maybe an oxy pad that I do after I shave my balls, make sure no ingrown hairs come in.
But also just how filthy young boys are, and you're still ready to fucking rock, and you got fucking holes in your underwear. You know what I mean? Just fucking looking like an animal.
I was always so worried about that. I was over clean on that, but I'm trying to think of, I must have presented hairy balls to some chicks in my life when I was younger. I'm trying to think of the age I changed it around. I don't remember a switch over, but I definitely remember my ex-girlfriend right after high school having a lot of that's when the handy cam came out, so you'd start filming yourself fucking a little bit. And many a blowjob video was ruined by her spending time with her pinky in the back of her tongue going, hang on, no, it's right there. And you're like, you'd hear me go, you're ruining the video. Like I'm whispering like it's not being picked up. Ruining this. Do you know how much these Super 8 tapes cost?
Just the fact that you were so deranged that even at that age, you're ready to go in for it.
It was wild.
Was that because early internet?
Not internet, but I was able to get my hands on pornography pretty young. When I'd go to my dad's, I'd find he had some. My grandmother had a tenant living in a room in the basement. It was my uncle's friend, and he was in his 20s, I guess, at the time. And I knew how to break into his room, porn videos in there. Then my buddy got a job at a newsstand, and that was it.
You're off to the races.
Off to the races, because then every month when they don't sell, they're like, you could take whatever you want, and he would just go get twos of like every High Society and Cherry magazine and We and whatever awful thing was out there. So I had a lot of porn pretty young. So yeah, I was pretty raring to go.
You know, here's the funny thing about that early porn. They were still doing storylines. You know what I mean? There was still a huge backstory. We're at work, blah, blah, blah. None of that exists anymore.
Now there's some flirting for a few scenes first.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you talk to the older porn, I've interviewed several of the legends doing the SDR show for years, and like they talk about a very different time than when they do like Hot Girl Wanted. Like,
Right.
remember that? Was that a Netflix documentary or something where it's like, all right, girls, everybody pick a mattress on the floor and live like pieces of shit. And then, but here's like a dress to wear to this ball. You're gonna go fuck guys and film it, whatever. Dude, those things too, like the Hot Girls Wanted, like this Miami porn thing.
Sure.
All still gone, but those the original girls are like, we were movie stars.
Sure.
Limos everywhere.
Yeah.
And like making money where they did have like beautiful houses and stuff and all live like this life. It's not like now it's like $1,000. We come here and let these two black guys walk in a room and just start stuffing cock in you. And I got to tell you, I'm here for it.
Right.
It's exclusively what I watch almost. But you're right. There is no argument anymore. There was those directors. That's the Boogie Nights thing, right? The guy's like, no, I'm making art. Don't
I'm
you
fucking
understand?
doing something.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know, like, until I moved to Florida, that pretty girls stripped. You know what I mean? Because there used to be a place up near the Tinicum Swamp, somewhere near the fucking airport, and you'd go in there as a kid, and there would be two big girls, and they were there for the next 5 hours. Nothing changed. And then there was a chick that was in Philly, and they would push her, but she was like really fucking crazy, right? Like she would put peanut butter in her fucking pussy and blow it out at the guys and stuff like that. And you're like, we're high
That's
school.
talent. That's
yeah,
thick.
it's unbelievable.
Thick peanut butter.
I know, and it shot, and everybody. It was also funny. Everybody
Yeah.
was laughing and fucking high fiving. But they announce her, and she comes out on stage with the broom handle up into her pussy, and she's just sweeping the floor. Like, I don't know, like she worked there. And I'm like, man, sex is ugly, huh? Huh, guys?
Yeah, Philly, I'd assume there was, especially those airport Philly ones, it's
Yeah.
mostly novelty act.
Right.
Like, you're not going to get a lot. It's like, this is a girl who's willing to do it. And look, yeah, it's kind of funny. She could take her glass eye out.
Right.
Like, you can always laugh at that. They have the one place in Atlanta that's known, like the, what's the, not
The cheater or
Continental.
something.
What the fuck is it? Claremont Lounge.
Okay.
That's what it is, where they don't hire anybody under 50.
Oh, I love that.
And it's just like
attitude.
older, like it's just, but it's like over 50, and they'll accept you under 50 if you have like a real issue, like a wooden leg or something. Like they'll accept that also, but it's got to be like freaky people.
Yeah. There was a place in Tampa. Can't think of the name of it right now, but they couldn't even sell alcohol. They fucked up so many times. and they would be dancing, and then the music would stop, and she'd get off the stage and put some money into the jukebox and hit another song.
No
And
DJ.
I was in there, and this one girl, her water broke.
A dancer.
She was she was taking it as far as she could, you know, putting some money away, you know, to fix up the spare room. And her water broke. Everybody was going fucking crazy.
You know how much those little fucking swings cost?
Yeah, that's true.
You got to take it right to the limit. Yeah, it's such a funny, like, God, strip clubs. I got jaded to it like pretty quick to not being into those. I said again, it's almost like I said with the old wealthy guy with like the young hot chick.
Right.
Like I just can't get past you know what I mean? Like it can't be for something.
Right.
It can't be fucking me
But
for a thing.
Here's the thing. That's why OnlyFans is better than anything that's ever existed, because they don't have anybody telling them what to do all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of those guys are running those clubs were mean motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people in the porn business were mean. But this girl could just set something up in her house and make some fucking bread. It's like a nice thing when you think about it.
I don't know why I've never was able for a brief moment in time. The world really saw past pimping as like a thing that was bad, and it was just like a fine thing.
Well,
Like they look like they were like it's like yeah, like everyone involved seems pretty okay with it.
I mean, everybody, you know, in Times Square used to be like that, so people still talk about it. It was like the fucking stereotype movie. The guy fucking dressed like that, and he was like, "Ladies, please, keep moving." You know what I mean? And you were just like, "I'm in a fucking movie.
movie.
I'm in a movie right now." People were fucking gambling on the street, selling drugs. Oh, it was fucking great. Now look at Times Square. Wednesday,
Bullshit.
February 5th at 7 p.m. Ron Bennington, Joe List, Keith Robinson. This is a good show.
Yes, and you can get jacked off probably downstairs.
One time when we did one of those Thanksgiving shows, Artie wandered off during the show. We were doing like a panel of something, went to break, and he just wandered off into Times Square looking for dope. I'm like, dude, it's fucking 2014. It's not here. I feel as badly as you do. But let's finish it. I'll go out looking with you.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Where's? Yeah, have anyone seen the guy with the big hat and floppy shoes? But no, that I don't know if there's ever been a magnanimous like owner of a place like that. Everyone's like, dude, Dennis Hoff was the best guy. Like, was he though? Like,
Yeah.
wasn't he a raging piece of shit? Actually, like, I don't understand. Like the thing, it's like, well, it's legal there, so he's just being an all right guy. And he's another one too. It's like he would talk about those girls in a way. It's like, yeah, we brought in a new girl from wherever. He goes, I tested her out, tight, good. And you're like, and then he would be celebrated.
Right.
He would go to the Comedy Cellar, and they'd be like, Dennis Hoff, spread the way.
That's the Bunny Ranch guy.
Yeah.
He used to come here all the time with bringing people in. And then he would just come up to the window of the studio and wave. And you're like, no, motherfucker, you're not booked.
So I became friends with her, Bunny Love. She would come to the cellar with him, and I would like smoke weed with her and get her talking about like. See, this is the thing. This was my move. I still wanted to be a part of the filth, but I was also like, just understand. I know this is disgusting. You shouldn't be a part of any of this.
Nice, yeah.
I was the person. I was like, after like I'd get jacked off at the Asian place, she would be like, hey, whatever your dream was when you came here, you should still see that through.
That's nice. You're a hero. That's what you're called. You're called a hero.
I mean, I had to get her to be like, yo, this guy's a creep, right? And she had to almost eventually be like, yeah, it is what it is. And then like we stayed friends beyond that. I think she's like a married fucking snowboard chick up in Napa somewhere.
Is he dead?
Yeah. Yeah, but those two were the ones who used to come with him all the time to the thing. But yeah, then he's hanging out. He goes, hey, I'm also hanging out with Heidi Fleiss. We went into business together. She's cool, right?
Yeah.
They forget these like are pieces of shit, which is so funny about that. Fucking Dennis Hoff. Pimps.
It is HBO. He had his own HBO show for, what was it, a couple of seasons?
I know. Listen, I love the
was
concept.
Yeah.
I love the concept that you could send like an Eric the Midget they used to send there, or you could, or the Cat House show itself would be like a father can walk in there. He goes, "This is my son. His brain's too big for his head, or whatever." Like he's got some kind of crazy like he just starts off. He goes, "Can you guys just like double suck him? It'll probably take 15 seconds. We'll get out of here." You're almost like those girls are fucking heroes. Those are treasures for sure.
Well, you know, they're professionals. You know what I mean? You can't pick and choose. Now, have you heard of the term yachting? So this is supposedly women that are not in the business, like they're influencers or movie stars that are a little down on their luck, but they will only go on yachts with the super rich, and they will fuck. And that's
only on a yacht.
Only on a yacht. I guess if the guy has a mansion, but it's called yachting. Like they get a little vacation out of it, you know. And then
That's what Ralph Sutton does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like models in New York for ages.
Right. And Vegas, right? Like when people think they know a prostitute, you see a Vegas prostitute, and you're like, fuck.
The Vegas
You know what I mean?
strippers were unbelievable. We
Yeah,
had
they
an
are.
after party at Peppermint Hippo, and I was like, oh my God, every girl was like more gorgeous than the last one.
I know. They're
Vegas
just
has goodies,
unbelievable.
huh?
Yeah.
Nice. The only time Christine ever went to a strip club was a place called the Oasis in Philly. They were fans of mine, and they really rolled the red carpet out for us. And, I mean, it took 2 hours of being there for Christine to find a woman who didn't have a gunshot wound healing that she was willing to have. Because she was like, we got to go. I'm like, no, you got to get a dance. I mean, we're here.
Right.
We came to the strip. I didn't even necessarily want to go. It was almost like, she's like, oh, that may be fun, though. And I was like, well, I mean, they're picking us up in a car. I'm like, yeah, sure. If you want to go after the shows, we'll go out there. And we went out there, and like, but it was funny when we were leaving. She was like, I was like, you got to get a lap dance. And she's like, no, I'm ready to go. And I was like, yeah. She's like, there's really nobody here. And then we found a girl that she was like, oh, okay.
Well, no, then a girl like emerged from out of nowhere, and she was just gorgeous and perfect.
Runaway. That's a runaway. She's still fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, too. Like, you ever been in a fucking titty bar like that, and, like, women are coming over, can you want to dance? No. And then finally a hot one, you're like, yes. And then she's giving you a lap dance, and you look over, and one of the girls that you said, no. She's just giving you a fucking steak guy. Fucker.
I went into what was it called? What was like the no booze one on Delaware Avenue? I forget what it was called. It was like Baby Dolls or something like that. Dollhouse. So one of my friends was like, let's go in there one night. He goes, I heard this is a place where they do like they'll jerk you off. It's a strip club, no booze, full nude, and they have rooms in the back where it's just like,
right.
But it's like Jack Shack rooms.
Yeah.
And it was, and I don't know, I was getting brazen. At this point, I had gone like a handful of times now to like the jerk off places.
Yeah.
Where I was like, someone's like, this place has that. So I was like, we just asked the girls about it, and I don't know, I couldn't even remember. I wish I could tell you how I was asking like is anybody jerking off here? Anybody asking the question of who's going to do this? And some girl was like, yeah, sure. She's like, it's $100. And I was like, okay, which probably was my worth at the time.
Yeah, $100, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, sure. And we go into a room, and it's almost like a doctor's table, and she feeds, awfully lit, by the way, she feeds the $100 into a machine, like a cigarette machine almost, it looks like. And I was like, all right. And then she goes, all right. She goes, she's like showing her ass, and she goes, I want you to jerk off for me. And I'm like, I'm like 18 or 19, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like jerking off and then I was like, so you said you were gonna like, she said she was gonna suck it, which she was gonna do. She was gonna suck my dick, she said. And then she's like, come on, now I want to watch you jerk off a little bit more. And then she sees I'm like getting hard. She's like sucking her own titties, but I mean, couldn't look less like, I suck my tit now. This is what my pussy looks like, and I'm just like jerking off frantically, going like, now, do you take over now? And then at some point, she goes, I go, hey, are you going to get involved in this at all? Or so? And she goes, you better go. You got and then she points to a thing. That machine she fed the money into starts counting down a timer from like 10 minutes. And she goes, she's like, you only got like 3 minutes left. I would get to it. And I go, wait, are you going to do it? She goes, yeah. And then she gets up on all fours, and then I'm jerking off facing forward. She's on all fours looking at my dick while I'm jerking off. And then she's just closer to it, and she's like, yeah. And she goes, I'm going to suck that shit so good. Tell me when you're going to come. I'm going to suck it when you come. And I went, now, and just came all over my own hand and the table. And I went, I thought you were going to do something. And she goes, yeah, that's what we tell you to make you come quicker. And I went, well, that's fucked up. And she goes, what are you going to tell? You going to tell somebody? She was just mean as she walked out. Yeah, and I was like, all right. And I think I did go to the front of the guy and go, they're not being honest out there. And the guy's like, okay.
Yeah. It's fucking horrible.
This is not a good business model.
Here's the thing that you need to do to break down all those walls. Instead of like asking, what do I get and all that, just say, do you want to do a bump? You know what I mean? You get
yeah. That's
going,
the move.
And then suddenly, who's in the power position? This fucking guy.
Because you have the coke.
Right? Yeah. This guy is suddenly making the fucking rules.
I had a girl one time ask me, and I only did it once. She goes, "Can you get me?" She goes, "Can you get cocaine? I fuck so crazy when I'm on cocaine." I'm like, "Sure." And then she goes, "I want to do a bump of coke off your dick," and I was like, okay. So I got some cocaine, like the smallest bag of cocaine. I gave it to her, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I want to do a bump off your dick." And I pulled my dick out, and like just heard that when she put the cocaine on my dick, even I was like, it was like so drugsy. I'm just not that guy. I was like, and then she did coke off, and I go, "You shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have had that on my wiener. We should not fuck now." We did.
Yeah.
I'm not gay, Jacob. We did fuck.
That
was Hep C.
Yeah.
That was Hep C from yesterday.
Yeah.
No. She just like, this girl asked me to butt fuck her because she had her period, and then after we butt fucked, she said, "By the way, I should tell you I have Hep C." Yeah, I don't.
I had the feeling. You did coming in. Put that yellow ass up where I can see
No. Aggressively checked years beyond even, because I would go, hey, you know what? While you're in there, check for Hep C too, because also I did fuck a girl who told me afterwards, hey, thanks for butt fucking me. The most easiest way to get Hep C.
Well, here's the thing. I think we're all feeling it right now that this is going a lot better than it would be with Bobby. You know what I mean? Like, there's something feels right about what's happening. And I don't know, look, I've never shit myself for 2 days straight. I'm not trying to,
Last time I was shitting myself here almost,
Yeah.
I make use now. Jacob showed me the all genders, meaning no genders bathroom.
Right.
Which is nice. But if I could give, and I know they're never listening to me, if the higher ups at Sirius XM, can we put a little softer lighting in these rooms for these situations?
You're right.
Who wants to shit in, like, I mean, come on. What do you want me to see my thigh veins while I'm looking down?
They have the video going, so they need
that's
that.
fair.
They need that.
It
Video
does look
lighting.
better on video.
Yeah.
Can I make another suggestion?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in there, Ron?
Yeah.
The worst thing, well, I won't use it because of one reason. The lock opens if you push down the handle. So I'm too paranoid that I'm not doing it
Not on the other
right.
side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not on the other side,
You
though.
lock it, and if you move the handle, it unlocks.
Yeah, but not on the side that you have to be worried about.
Right. But my brain won't allow me to not worry about it.
I keep
So
my eyes
I
on.
want a separate lock from the handle, is what I'm saying.
Here, do what I do. I just leave the door open. I go, hey, what's up? How's everybody doing today?
It shouldn't be connected.
It shouldn't be connected. I agree with that. And there is, though. But, I mean, what would you do? I mean, we all do the same thing. If you hear that door making any kind of, like, movement, you go, ah!
Well, I've had trauma.
What
So
I
walked
happened?
in.
told you on the air.
What
Like,
happened? Tell me.
like I had 20 scuba divers staring at me on the bowl because the door didn't seal. It was a sliding door,
Yeah.
and somebody just pushed it, and it was like 2-inch gap. And I'm just on the bowl, and I see 20 women in bikinis
Yeah.
and dudes staring at me and going,
Oh, my God.
Pointing and laughing.
I wanted to die. And then I had to go on the dive. This was right before the dive.
How do you not see that every night in your
It wa-
dreams?
I do.
Oh.
He does.
Yeah,
He has a
no,
problem.
it's
with it.
haunted me since it happened.
I mean, can you still see the faces of the people laughing? Like, you remember what they looked like?
Yeah. Well, but I mean, there were a few of them were very attractive.
Uh-huh.
And before I was humiliated like this, you have dreams that one day,
He'll
I'll
be shitting.
I'll make my move. We can talk diving.
Right.
Instead, they just saw me dutying right before the dive. It was
here's
a
the thing.
disaster.
You never want to be in lockup. I'm just
yeah.
telling you that
No.
right now.
No.
That
It's-
gets really fucking...
I used to say to myself, before I started watching all these jail shows, like 60 Days In,
Yeah.
when I watched that particularly, I used to say anything over, maybe even a year, but anything under a year I would just accept in jail. Over a year, heavily consider killing myself.
Right.
Or running. 1 year. That's how scared I am of jail, for sure. 1 year. Now, when you've added in that I look all these shows, that idea that it's like they have cameras in those cells, so they show the person, from like waist up, but they're shitting, and you're like sorry, and then you see the person like flip over with their blanket, and I'm like, "Now that's worth killing myself for running. Day one of a 30-day sentence. 30-day sentence. I'm not. There's no way.
Look, here's the thing. This is what's really weird, too. So Senator Bob Goldbar Menendez, New Jersey, just got 11 fucking years today. He's a senator, soft-hand motherfucker, and he's probably late 60s, early 70s. 11 years. He's getting fucking basically a life sentence.
Yeah.
You know he's not ready for it. Harvey Weinstein said, hey, if you send me back to Rikers, you're killing me. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You're killing me. I'm fucking dying here. And then it was like, well, you got somebody who's got, you know what I mean? No one fucking feels
No.
a thing for him. Did you ever have him on the show?
Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah.
Nope.
I had him on 3 times.
Is that true?
Yeah, 3 times he did the show. We talked movies. He's very fucking interesting. I mean, he's made brilliant movies. He's a very kind of seductive guy. He brings you in. And I've said to him, "You're the best, dude." Believe me. I go, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Keep doing it.
He goes, Ron, would you like to watch me shower?
But like he was a guy that me and him talked about maybe doing a podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah. I go, I don't know why you send these fucking actors out. They stink. You know what I mean? In interviews, you should do a podcast with somebody who's got broadcasting experience.
Yeah.
Like myself.
But you weren't prepared to pay the vig.
Well, here's the thing. You know, who knows? Maybe I could have fucking protected him. You know what I mean? Maybe I could have been there for him.
He goes, you want me to kill Rose McGowan?
Oh, you're not going to hear from Rose anymore.
Hey, don't worry about that, good buddy.
From what I understand, she took a long trip, you know?
Dude, poor Rose McGowan. That was the funniest thing because everybody, even when they put that show out, people still felt for her, but it was a different way all of a sudden because, you know, she was one of the early whistleblowers on that, and she came out and they gave her a reality show, and then every episode had 3 scenes of her in an empty bathtub crying to herself, holding a candle, and you're like, this isn't your best witness. Get this off the air quick. I think it was like 4 episodes aired only, and then they were like, yeah, we got to get rid of this. She was screaming at a trans person in at a bookstore.
She could have been a neighbor of yours. You know what I mean? She was in that deep.
Yeah, she was Rose, which was why I've always said Marilyn Manson. Did you ever interview him when you were in Florida at all?
No. Do you know the funny thing was the Genitorturers came in, right? You heard of them? Mm-hmm. So the girl, this is like 80s, early 90s, beautiful tortures people. It's all really exciting. And I come walking in, and there's these fucking assholes. They were just sitting in the lobby with little fucking lunch boxes, little metal lunch boxes. Yep. And she's like, "Can they come down?" I'm like, "Fuck no." And these dudes in here. So,
bunch of boys with lunch boxes.
He sat out the door, you know.
Beat it, dork.
There was no albums then, but yeah, I mean the whole thing with him. I mean,
they dropped all charges on him again.
Yeah, of course. When you're rich, you can keep that thing going. You know what I mean? You can keep shit going until the other person runs out of money, and then finally you offer some money. You know.
I wonder what Marilyn Manson's sitting on, though. I think strangely, and this is not a joke, I think his father made some wise investments on his behalf. His father was his manager.
It's probably true.
And he probably took care of him with some money because, and I said this the other day, he's lost all the weight. He's been sober, apparently, and he sounds good. But I wonder how much money. These went away. I don't know. Marilyn Manson's innocence as far as, like, you know, going too far with these girls or hurting these girls, like, against their will or anything like that, comes down to Rose McGowan can't wait. And she has, I think the most she said, she goes, I support anyone who says they were a victim, but I had no experience of like that with him at all.
Yeah.
She would have been happy to tell it. And she would have been the one you're going to fucking shock up the asshole with a fucking prod or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But then that other chick, you know, was like a little movie star. He was like 15 years older than her, and she felt like she was, like she just turned 18 or whatever. She claimed she was, I can't think of her name right now.
Evan Rachel Wood. Yeah, she turned 18 and showed up at his door, though, and was like, fuck me, I'm 18. I mean, by her, when she tells the story.
Well, here's the thing. You would be so good on a jury during the defense. You were like, play to that guy. Do not look at anybody else on the jury. Play to that fucking dude.
I'm not in any of these rooms. He might be doing all kinds of fucked up shit. I'm saying every other girl, though, recanted and said they were just trying to, like, support her because she said that she had this, like, crazy
experience. Yeah, but we don't know
whether
they got cash or not. I mean, I know nothing about Marilyn Manson.
No, I don't know either.
I know the beautiful people. That's as far. That's as deep as I go.
And the guy crushed some pretty hot ass. His current wife is, like, pretty hot. She's like a photographer, Lindsay Usich or something.
I don't know.
But she's very pretty.
Wait, is she one of the Usich sisters?
Oh, is that?
I know those fucking bitches from No, I never heard of her. I'm sure she's lovely.
She's a photographer. I'm sure she's fine.
Does a photographer still get work these days?
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, Jacob, you like a pale bitch.
I do.
Yeah.
You could be with a vampire.
Like
just fucking pooping in front of 20 vampires.
Yeah.
Just taking a hot dump in front of 20 bikini-clad vampires. Damn, Jacob, you thought you get a chance to show your bod. You thought you might get some pussy from this scuba adventure until everyone watched you duke.
Well, you
And
couldn't
then I
poop
had
at
to-
home.
What?
You couldn't poop at home before the dive.
Yeah, why didn't you shit before the dive?
You don't get
Nervous
things.
poop.
Christine, you're not a diver.
Does everybody poop before they get in their gear?
First of all, you're leaving your house because you have to be at the dock at 8, so your whole rhythm's off.
No, you wake
And
up
then
at
you're
7 and you
going-
force out a shit.
7. We have to leave at like 5 in the morning.
Okay,
7.
so you wake up at
what
4.
Are you, a rookie?
Yeah, sorry. So at 4:30, you're on the
You
ball.
do you.
Okay.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
And my it's just not ready. What could I do? And then you have to understand. Now we get to the dive site, to the dive center, and you're going on a boat for 3 hours. So now the panic hits me, and I'll have a panic duty.
Panic shits.
And so I had to go in there in the place while they're all changing and ready to. And they're all the reason they looked in because they're all ready to. They just want to pee before they go on.
Right. No, you.
But
are.
I had to do more than pee.
Yeah.
Unless I have what the doctors are actually now calling Robert Kelly's disease, my shit will not become much of a problem. I'm not saying that I won't be reminded at a point like when you get a chance you do have to shit, but it will tend to stay at bay if I'm occupied with activity
Right.
and people.
Here's what.
I was panicking like I'm on a boat. There's nothing. Where can I go if I have
Being
an
engaged
attack?
with those 20 people would
Right.
keep my shits nowhere near a problematic chamber.
I've been a panic problem my whole life.
Any chance of pulling your little dive pants down and just shitting deep? You go deep down into the seaweed.
No. See, because the deeper you go, the colder it gets. You have to keep your suit on, Ron. So
Yeah.
you can shit your suit and it'll just stay.
But
in.
what just like maybe like a hamster maze like section and you cut a
Yeah.
little hole.
I think the point is I didn't plan on this. I didn't want it to happen. The most humiliating part after that was that I had to be on the boat with them for 3 hours and do the dive after.
Do you have any friends
still
there,
have to-
or you were strangers?
My brother
Yeah.
and my brother and
He
one
was
of my
leading
nephews.
he was leading the charge of laughter.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone look at this idiot taking his shit.
No, he
Yeah.
was sympathetic,
That's
but he
nice.
was laughing too.
He was not sympathetic. He wasn't
Yeah,
sympathetic enough to
that's
not go
not
to the after party without you. Well, Jacob, it seems like everyone's turning in, man. I guess
Sometimes it's just you got to chalk it up to an L.
damn.
That was one of the big L's in my life.
Do people really like poop in their suits and just swim around with their poop suits?
I mean, I haven't heard
See
of
a
it.
shark.
I'm sure it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would shit my suit if there was a big shark.
That's where
But
you're
you
going to find them
always
down
pee.
there diving.
You always pee in your suit when you dive.
You do.
Christine, you're
That's regular.
a
That's
beach kid.
normal.
You ever shit in the ocean?
No, I've never shit. in the
Christine?
ocean. But I've never gotten into the ocean without peeing.
You've always pee in the ocean.
100% every
hun-
time.
Do you
When
go
you
right
di-
through? Do you go right through the material of the bathing
I've told
suit?
you that I pull it aside, but not all the time.
Ew.
The
know,
best
they
feeling
both
in the
work.
world is when you're diving. It's because you have the suit on, and then when you go to depth, your organs are being compressed, so you can't not pee. Everyone pees in their suit.
You don't have to keep looking at me. I'm a diver.
So,
By the way,
It's the
I've
most
never heard
satisfying
this
thing.
before in my life. Did you know that all divers pee?
if they
in
say
their
they don't,
suits?
they're lying. You can't not. They all pee. So that Jessica Alba into the deep, into the blue.
Oh, I love that movie.
They're
was
not
covered in
showing
piss?
the reality that they're covered in piss.
So Jessica Alba covered in shit. Let me ask you this: she peels down. She's willing to put it behind you that she watched you take a shit. Do you help clean her off?
Wait, what are you saying?
Do you clean shit off Jessica Alba's naked body?
What? If I get to have like sex with her after?
No.
No, just clean the shit.
No, just clean the shit.
No.
Just clean the shit. Did I tell you something?
No, I'm not gonna clean.
No?
I would fucking leave from my house driving over. Just when's the boat coming in? I'm here to
But
clean
she's
her
in
up.
this. She's if Jessica Alba shits in the ocean.
No,
No.
Shits
Yes,
in her
no,
suit.
she shits in her suit. She peels. She's
And I
gonna peel.
Before
The,
she gets into
I'm
the
hitting
water.
her with her fucking hose. I'm just fucking hosing off her fucking
I'll
ass
hose
and
her. I
pussy.
thought you meant like use
Yeah,
paper.
like, you know.
yeah, you gotta get in there a little
You
bit.
didn't specify.
No, you gotta make sure you're in there. You gotta get
I'm
in
out.
there. Really? I've had this argument a lot, and I've seen the world goes 50-50 on this one. If the hot's got to outweigh the gross, you'll deal with the gross if the hot outweighs it. It's a certain thing.
Right.
I don't want young Pamela Anderson was everything to me.
Sure.
I would never wanted her to shit on my chest, shit in my mouth ever. But if you said the only way you'll ever see this woman naked is she's going to take a shit in front of you all day long. All day long.
You're going to put that above Jessica Alba? Because
I'm saying it was my thing. I'm saying any hot celebrity that you'd be excited for, the only chance is going to maybe Ron Bennington, perhaps.
No, I'm saying Mom's Mabley. Out of everybody.
That's who you'd hose her down?
I think once I got Jessica Alba cleaned up, I would quietly take a shit on her. So there would be more. So there would be even more. I go, oh my God, I just found a lot more.
He goes, I missed a spot. I missed a spot on your lower back.
I wouldn't be hot for her after I saw Loden.
No, you would. Because you're going to clean it back to what you like. A not shitty
You watch
ass.
shit porn. I never watched it.
I don't use shit porn, Jacob. That's a different thing we're talking about. You're making something sexual. It's not sexual. I am blown away by the concept of shit porn.
I'm saying you're desensitized by
No,
it.
I still make this face.
but you'll actively watch it.
Actively is a weird word to put it also.
You'll seek it out.
No.
I mean, from time to time.
From time to time, here's the thing.
Jay.
The computer that the laptop, the tiny little laptop that I take my shits with, that thing is blitzed with viruses and shit already. So once in a while, I'll slap on a little website called XP because I can't believe sometimes that you can get a beautiful woman who's definitely turned down guys in her life to shit on camera. It's mind-blowing to me.
I don't want to see it.
It's just
It
extra.
takes everything.
It's just something extra.
It's just something extra. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think we had to take a break 10 minutes ago. Oh, my Lord, everybody. Wednesday, February on YouTube. It's The Bonfire.